Bachman tried again.
I see. Yes.
Mhm.
I hit the wrong button.
You had
Oh.
2 instances of the HallowCon channel, didn't you?
So we're streaming to the Facebook, just not the YouTube.
No, we were streaming to the tubes.
Oh, okay. Just the wrong channel.
Yeah, just the wrong channel.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's an
Hey.
easy fix for next time.
Well, I've already fixed it.
He's
It's
already
going-
fixed it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
for already? Okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, that's the brilliance of StreamYard. That's also the drawback of StreamYard.
Yeah.
I've got roughly 20 channels linked to my
Jeez.
StreamYard page. And occasionally I'll hit the wrong button when I'm setting up a stream.
Mistakes
Mhm.
happen. At least we're streaming, and the 20,000 non-existent people can still hear and see us. So that's a beautiful thing, isn't it, Dan?
Hey, we've got 7 people actually live.
Wonderful. I see
watching
Carl
us
and
now.
Donna finally arrived. Good to see you, Carl. Good to see you. Here's your reference. Throwback Thursday. There we go.
See, Joe Bachman says the song he would not want to get trapped with is Yellow Submarine.
Oh,
It's a small world after all.
anything but
It's a
that.
small world.
I've been stuck on that ride before.
Really?
Mhm.
Yes.
That's something else, isn't it, John? Goodness gracious. Is that a Captain America shirt you're sporting tonight, Bill? Is that Captain America? Nice. I figured it was. Nice. There you go.
Sorry about that, Carl. I had to get the stupid o'clock page up.
What does it say? I got tossed out to the HallowCon room. Dang it.
Well, that was the second HallowCon room. The other one is still running.
Oh, is it? Okay.
And unless there's a glitch when you kill one, if you have 2 instances of the same channel.
No.
So,
Hey, John,
Yes.
if you pull up that picture that I put in the
Messenger chat.
messenger
Learn how to do
chat,
that.
There it is.
thank you.
It's a great looking picture, by the way.
Oh,
Well, Carl was crying. He wanted something original.
And boy,
He
did
knows
Bill
I do.
starting to
He's gonna
deliver.
cry, yeah.
Bill's starting to deliver.
I hate to see Carl cry
I don't think I've ever seen
unless
Carl
it's in
cry.
his beer.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen Carl cry, though. I've known him for a long time now.
Goys,
Hey.
what is up, Goys?
It's a great picture, Bill. I really like it.
Yeah, what is up, guys? Okay, they must be from Jersey.
Yeah, let us
Joyce.
know who you are in the chat, because right now it just says Facebook user. You got to allow StreamYard permission to use your name.
They live in Queens.
There's a link
Oh,
to that. somewhere.
okay. Well, he's on your.
There it is. That is
There
a
you
great
go.
looking picture if
And-
I ever saw one.
And they're somebody else's picture. You might have to
Oh my God.
enlarge it or whatever, but there's
Yeah, yeah,
somebody
yeah.
else's picture in there too, down in the bottom right hand corner.
It's
Well,
Joe Dog approved.
At least you didn't use a bottle of absinthe, which you'd never be able to see against the green background. So.
Great
Well,
job,
and
Bill.
and I made sure that I made the whiskey bottle
Whiskey.
original.
Bottle of whiskey.
I had because I knew I wanted to black out the actual JD label.
Yeah, and it's sad that I knew that was what it was instead of the other 3 similarly shaped bottles with slightly different labels from different brands in the same geographical area.
Carl had
And
a
I
funny
can't
comment.
remember if I brought this up last week or not, but Jack Daniels and Coke are getting together to have a Jack and Coke mixed drink that you can readily buy and not have to mix, I guess.
Put it in the vending machine at work. I can sure use it.
Oh, Dan's like, I'll
Right
take 2 of
next-
those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're talking to a guy that found whiskey and soda, gin and tonics, and there was one other actual mixed drinks in cans
Really?
in the airport at Gatwick in England.
Wow.
They have them in vending machines once you get through security. I suppose that's some kind of reward for making it through security.
Right.
However, I've got to say, over in England, their version of TSA is much more polite than ours.
Breaking news, Dan. I'm getting word now that the Jack and Coke will be in your vending machine right in between the Hubba Bubba bubble gum and the chiclets. So look for it soon.
Hey, put it in there with the Powerade. That's it needs to be chilled.
Tonight's drink.
Sponsored by so and so.
Not caffeinated.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
don't worry.
We take our blessings where we can count them. Yes.
That's a nice
Yes.
little flyer there, Bill. That's good stuff. You know, I took the liberty of you posted
Oh.
that, and then I posted the link to my
Drinking
merchandise
water.
store because now you can get some Ryan and I quote swag on Redbubble. And yes, John, I posted it in the Stupid O'Clock page.
Thank you.
So yeah, you
Mhm.
can treat all of yourselves to some good-looking swag featuring yours truly. Hashtag always promote your stuff, Dan. I'm just doing my due diligence.
No. I am not going to smart ass you tonight.
Okay.
And Carl, I did post.
I
that
am a week
picture.
overdue, but I'm holding back until tomorrow night in the green room. So
I
Where
may
Ryan
not
won't
be able to come
Well-
tomorrow night. Jenny, my little sissy, she is having her garage sale Saturday morning from 8 to 1. She says, "Hey, would you like to help? Laura's coming." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." She says, "It's 8 to 1. Can you be here at 7?" Which means I have to be up at 6. So I
somebody
probably
has to tote stuff.
Early
Hey.
bird gets the worm.
Hey.
Yeah.
Early bird gets the worm.
Bill, I'm going to tell you, like, if yard sales are up there, like yard sales down here, if you
Mhm.
say start time is at 8, you better have all your shit set out at 7.
Well, thankfully, most of it is going to be in a big, long pole barn garage. So, because there's a chance of rain up here tomorrow morning and early afternoon, so
Excellent plan.
I'm going to try to. I know Jenny wants to put some stuff out front just so that because it's in a cul-de-sac on a dead end, and but
Sounds like an opening to a book.
well, and I told her, I said, to tomorrow night, put out all the signs, do all your advertising, don't be waiting too late. So hopefully
Agreed.
she'll do that. But anyway, so sadly, I won't be able to come in the green room tomorrow night, but everything should be okay for Saturday night. Right here.
Well, I hope the garage sale is a success there for you and your family there, Bill.
Now, seriously, reason
Thank
I
you.
said that is we had, planned on a neighborhood yard sale,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and, start time was 8 a.m. I had somebody knocking on my door at 6:30 in the morning
Jeez.
wanting something that was already put out.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I wasn't ready, so I told him, yeah, sure. Of course, price is double because you woke my ass up.
Right.
So instead of 25 cents, it's going to be 50 cents. No, I'm kidding. It's probably going to be like 50 bucks.
Well, and I told Jenny, I said, even though you say the sale's only going till 1 o'clock, I said, we'll be there for at least another hour afterwards because there's always people coming in
Stragglers.
the last minute. And before they leave, then here's some more coming in and more coming in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, one thing I've learned about being the stragglers,
Mm-hmm.
you can wheel and deal on some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Haggle them, maybe?
Yeah, we've got what it runs through Chattanooga called the 127 yard sale, the world's longest yard sale.
I heard
I don't
about
even-
that.
I don't even go near it until Sunday afternoon
Okay.
because that's where I go to the antique dealers and go 25. I'll give you 10. And at that point in time, they'll take the 10 rather than have to pack it up and take it home.
Yeah. She's not going to have it on Sunday, so there won't be any cheap prices there. And plus the fact, even if she did, I think unless somebody wants to bundle a bunch of things together to get a cheaper price that way. It probably won't happen. I'm not sure. I know she wants to get rid of stuff, but she's wanting to have these sales all summer long. So whatever doesn't sell, hey, you hit the remote on the garage door, it shuts up, and then you're ready till next weekend or whenever,
Now, what's your absolute lowest price you'll take for that 55-gallon drum of Ripple?
Now, one year
It
at
was a good
Chattac-
week.
I've told this before, but I don't think Ryan was here. One year at HallowCon, I went into the dealer's room as they were starting to pack up. And this guy, had these neat little glass flasks in a leather strap. He was wanting $15 a piece for it. And I said, well, you're closing up. I know you don't want to take them home. I'll give you $10 for it. Guy told me, for $10, I'd take a hammer and bust all of them to pieces. One of the guys I know who used to run HallowCon always had a hammer in his box. I went out. I said, I need to borrow your hammer for me. He said, okay. I walked in. I threw the hammer on the table, put a $10 bill on top of it, and said, get your ass to work. Needless to say, I wasn't one of his favorite people.
Probably not.
And he packed up real quick and got on out of there. And the vendors around him said, damn, we've been wanting to say that shit to him all weekend. He was one of those asshole vendors.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Dan, you've
I
come
love the
across
one
playing on the bad side of the coin.
Yeah.
I love the ones that come up and will look at your stuff and then they'll start nitpicking it apart. Well, you got $25 on here, but these edges are rolled and this is bad and this bad, and I'll probably give you $8 for it. And they think, oh, am I supposed to believe you because now you've went on this little thing nitpicking something that you want me to sell to you? Oh, gee, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that. Oh, thank you very much for it. And sure, I'll take $8. No, heck, have it for free. What? Why not? That.
But the normal price is $10. For you, it's $50.
Ooh, Dan. That number.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm the wrong kind of person to sass.
I was going to say. I mean, no one should cross Dan. Yeah. Don't get on his bad side.
I'm going to tell you, if somebody ever nitpicks something like that, I'll say, "Oh, damn! I'll just put it up." Oh, what are you putting it up for? Well, it's defective. It's not good enough to sell.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Well, two things come to mind. One, how was LibertyCon overall? And number two is, for someone who may be watching or listening to this and they hear these words, HallowCon, when exactly is HallowCon? When is that going down? And how was LibertyCon, though?
LibertyCon was great. Me and Stephanie actually talked about it. It was great. It was fun to be around. But, Stephanie, do you still agree there was something off?
Yeah, and I don't think it had anything to do with the convention staff doing anything or not doing anything. It was it was like the attendees had a different mindset or something. I don't know. Does that click with any of y'all?
Well,
Dan, what do you?
For me, it was. It was having trouble getting back into the con spirit of things because of the 2 years, almost 3 years, that we haven't been able to do anything but virtual, except for last year's HallowCon, which was a great relief to me.
I've been going to conventions all along.
Well, so it felt really weird to be with that many people again. And
Uh,
it took me until Saturday afternoon before I felt comfortable again, which
Does
is weird
anybody
because it's
understand?
LibertyCon. You're supposed to be comfortable from the minute you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody understand that comment? That last comment?
Negative.
Mm.
What does that mean? COG, Certificate of Goodness? I don't know. Are we too good for YouTube, Mark? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, the contract for the hotel was signed over 2 years. Yeah, the contract was signed over
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Mark's part of the
Committee?
LibertyCon crowd. Yeah.
Oh, the crowd. Okay.
Or committee, what it, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. I enjoyed seeing it just didn't, I mean, it was like,
There were a lot of faces that should have been familiar that were not able to attend.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mark,
So
we're
And
not. I'm not saying that any of it was anything to do with how the con was run. There was just
oh
a different
no,
atmosphere somehow.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just,
and no negative reflection on
It was just a different vibe for you
the
folks.
con itself.
Yeah.
It's just after such a long absence, it was weird to be
Mm,
back
okay.
in what was once so familiar.
Okay,
Hmm.
what
okay, Mark's going political. Mark, we're going to ask you to please, that is one thing we don't do, is we're not a political show. We can talk, you can talk about Darth Vader versus Spider-Man, or uh,
I would like to see that.
I mean, there was a Darth Maul versus Spider-Man mini movie that was filmed over at Superpower
Uh-huh.
Beatdown from Bat in the Sun. I don't know if anyone knows what
Yeah.
that is, but
I was
Oh,
going to say that sounds just like
I
Bat
really
in the Sun.
like the Batman versus Darth Vader that got made.
Yeah.
that was a
great
good one
little
too.
thing.
That was a good one. They re-aired it because of the Kenobi finale that dropped earlier this week.
Yeah. Actually, or we can talk about horses with rubber chickens.
If he can find the button.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You and the rubber chickens.
I love it.
It's so
Once
random.
again,
It makes no
I'm not
sense.
seeing it on this end.
It's so random.
Exactly.
I mean,
All of our names blink, but I don't actually see it.
oh, I see it when it shows up on the screen. I saw it.
Yeah. I don't
We
know
played
if
it a
it's
moment
because
ago, but
What about rubber?
rubber chickens.
Yes, I would love. I don't know if you've ever seen it. The Adam Savage tested, where he took like 200 rubber chickens,
Whoa,
tied them all together, and squeezed them all tight,
really?
and then with a knife cut the rope, and you had 200 rubber chickens going.
Is that on YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. Looks like I'll have to look forward to watching that a little bit later on this week. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow.
Walter, was that the Arecibo message?
My tail. First extraterrestrial. Oh wow!
Yeah.
On this day in 1974. Sorry, I didn't mean to get all accent E on the show. Sorry, Dan.
This
That's all right.
bicentennial minute. This bicentennial minute is brought to you by Walt Flack.
And
sorry, I didn't. That was my poor attempt at an impression.
I actually remember part of
Do
the
you?
content of that because it was quite parallel to the plot of a novel that I was reading at the time, which was pretty much about the same sort of thing,
Really?
but it was written many years earlier. And it was a good book. I can't remember the title of it right now, but it was basically everybody got together and figured out what kind of message to send, and it was quite similar to the gold disc, the pictorial section of the gold disc that went out with was it Pioneer or Voyager? Voyagers. Okay, and they actually used Arecibo and sent the darn thing out, and at the end of the book they got a reply, and it turned out to be the same sort of had to figure out how many squares it took, how many pixels it took to do the square array that would make the message make sense.
Sean
And,
Sullivan's here.
Oh,
That is.
got to be.
Uh, well, I'm going to tell you, my sodium intake went up by 1 grain last week. Talking
nice.
about the Arecibo message.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese have said radio telescope has been receiving messages for the last year. So my sodium intake went up by 1 grain.
I think I would have used a whole salt shaker on that one.
I mean,
oh Lord, yeah. Well, when you decipher it and tell everybody else where it came from, and it can be replicated by other places, then the salt intake will reduce.
Yeah.
The Arecibo message was not sent in June; it was sent in November.
Oh, but it was 74.
It was 74.
Okay.
Well, that was like me here a couple years ago, thinking June 20th was the day Armstrong stepped on the moon. I was just a little excited about the anniversary.
Day after my birthday. I always felt cheated because I thought, why couldn't he have done that on the 19th? And that would have been the perfect birthday present for me.
Well,
did we wish you a happy birthday in the
I
chat?
was 7 years old, but I was into it for as much as a 7-year-old could be.
They had to run through the checklist, and it took them across the intergalactic date line.
Well, that sounds like.
Well, let's see, Stephanie, what were they doing on July 19th, 1969?
Probably orbital insertion.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Or circularize.
Hey, this ain't the green room now. Come on.
Circularizing the orbit. Is that the word?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to see if I can find the time. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Happy belated birthday, Bill. I don't know if I wished you a happy birthday because you said it was on the 19th of June, right?
No,
July.
Oh, July. Oh, jeez. Never mind. I thought I missed something. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this 4 days ago?
Yeah, well, got it in early. That's all right. Good for you.
Now you don't have to say anything for another year. See?
No. I'll still say it when it drops on your Facebook feed.
I had a friend of mine on Facebook actually like the happy birthday I sent him last year.
Really?
Because today is his birthday. He just didn't check the year. And then I finally pulled up Facebook and go, oh, wow. Yeah, today is the day. Let me wish him a happy birthday this year. So I did. And, hashtag for green room. Uh-huh.
Writing down.
What have we done? What hath God wrought?
Orbital insertion.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
She did. I heard her.
That means moving from the transitional trajectory between the celestial bodies into orbit around one of them.
I'm going to have to get my shirt. Ron, you have made me want to go ahead and get the shirt. I've got it, in my queue to order. It says that's what, and down here it says she.
They must have done something to Facebook because suddenly I can't get to where I want to go.
I have no idea what just happened just now. Like,
okay. It says that's what.
Right.
Down here it says she.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be an editor to figure that one out, or at least to write it.
All right.
Or both.
I think I got it though, Joe. Thanks.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Exactly. Don't forget to order yourself a nice-looking Ryan and I quote shirt from Redbubble there, Joe Dog.
And
Sad.
Carl has his stupid o'clock mug.
Hey.
Yeah, mine came in the other day also, and I meant to have it tonight, and I forgot it.
Hey,
How does
Carl,
it look?
Carl, now you
It
can
looks
treat yourself
good.
to some
It
anti-quote
looks really
merch
good.
too. We
Now
got
I
coffee
gotta
mugs too.
now I gotta get on that brewing company and get them to put out a stupid o'clock beer. I'm
Oh, we
buying up
need
their regular product. I should have some influence.
I should probably
Joe
get
Dog. We need some stupid o'clock ball caps,
Yeah,
black ones,
I was gonna
black
say we should
ones.
get those, and I'll wear the T-shirt too for the next show or for another show whenever they come in.
That's the reason I got my hair cut recently.
So you
I've
can look
not
good while
wo-
wearing a hat.
No, I've not worn a hat in 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Regularly wore a hat.
Yeah.
I got up the other morning and was combing my hair out. I had hat hair, and I've not had a hat on.
Well, it's not for everybody.
Oh,
That's the reason.
I loved my ball cap. The only reason I wore a ball cap is to keep all the dust and dirt out of my hair at work.
There we go. Convention Dan. Look for the hat.
Exactly.
I'm
I never
available
wore
for
a.
autographs, even if I didn't write it.
Oh,
I'll sign Harlan Ellison's name in a book if you hand it to me.
hey, I gotta ask you, Dan. Did B12 help bring you out of the funk?
You know, I forgot all 6 bottles that I meant to pack.
That's why you was so
Yep.
hooked.
Funkified.
Believe me. But between Thursday evening and Saturday morning, I must have put away about 8 gallons of water. And it didn't start being processed biologically until Saturday afternoon.
How hot was it down there?
Well, basically, I had a 3.5 hour drive in stop and go traffic with the windows down and no air conditioning in the car.
Ouch.
Ooh,
It was
The
felt
heat
like
index,
110. It felt
and
like
that's about what the heat
110.
index was. That's
Yeah.
about what the heat index was. We had on Thursday we had heat advisories out.
hmm
Hmm.
And Georgia is not one of those places where you want to be on a concrete highway with no air conditioning in the summertime. But thankfully,
I just
Lindsay
saw.
didn't get sick.
I just saw on the weather tonight up here in East Central Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first 23 days of this month, we only had 4 days out of the month that we had actual rain.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of those days was less than 10%
Wow.
of it. So, I mean, we're getting ready to go I think we're under a drought advisory already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know
Because there are some areas that are restricting water usage.
Yeah.
I know exactly how to get it to rain. I'll bring Grillzilla up to your house and pull the doors off of it.
Mhm.
Yep. And then didn't wash the big yellow truck.
Yeah.
I could wash my little yellow car, and I bet it would rain.
Mm.
Oh, the big yellow truck she ain't feeling too good.
Oh,
She needs a $200 battery.
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Now, here's the damn thing about it. There are only 3 vehicles left on the road taking that battery. Guess who has one?
Somebody that wants more than a reasonable amount of money for it, actually.
No, guess who has one of those 3 vehicles?
Oh, you?
Yeah, me, of course. And it's because of the engine. If I had the 5.3, it would be an $89 battery. If I had the 6.0, it'd be a $150 battery. No, I got the 350. I got the damn good 350.
Hmm.
At least I don't have to buy the starter for it.
Hey, it beats having that hand crank on the front.
Trust me, I looked at that idea.
Last week we were talking about Tesla batteries, and I was saying Tesla is in trouble again. Now, just yesterday, I heard some other news, and I can once again say Tesla's in trouble again. I guess they were supposed to downsize the employees some because they're doing so bad right now, and apparently they let a certain percentage of their employees go without giving them the proper time of notifications that they were being laid off. So now, and of course, these are union employees.
Okay.
So now Tesla is being sued big time over the whole
Now,
deal.
you want the rest of the story, Dan or Bill?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, they're eliminating 250 salaried jobs
Mm-hmm.
so they can hire 350 hourly waged people.
And salary are not union members, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Well, according to this report, these people were union employees because it's union lawyers that have sued Tesla.
No, Tesla is a open shop. So yeah, but Dan, they're actually creating jobs.
Yes, they are, and they're creating jobs that are with the option of joining a union rather than a requirement, as some idiots in some things I have seen have been stating as a barefaced lie, but they claim it's true. There's nowhere I know of that has a union where you are required to be there, you're required to join in order to have a job. But I'm willing to say that there might be some places where it's extremely frowned upon that you're not in the union, but as far as I know, there's no law that compels you to join a union if the shop is unionized.
What was it, John? 2 years ago that Volkswagen had the union vote? 2 or 3 years ago?
I think it's like every year, actually. That was the one that almost made it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I was getting ads on YouTube to encourage my friends that work at Volkswagen to vote for the union.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't mean just occasionally. It was just about every video, and you couldn't skip it.
Yeah.
It was like a 2-minute video, and you couldn't skip it.
I've been getting the Democratic runners for Georgia on every time I click YouTube, it's Stacey Abrams and Darrell Warnock.
I've been getting the hate videos against them that
I've
you
only
can't
seen
skip.
one that says, tell them you want them to balance the budget or something like that. That's about the only one I've seen.
Well, we're tiptoeing close to politics, folks.
I was about to say that.
well, we are complaining about the unskippable ads that these politicians are buying on YouTube, which is a legitimate complaint.
I will complain about every unskippable ad on YouTube, whether it's for body wash or politics.
The other one they've been doing
if you don't have
lately,
the option to skip it, that's wrong.
The other one they've been doing lately you can't skip is Simply Safe. This home alarm system. That damn thing's 15 minutes long.
Mm-hmm. There have been a few videos that I wanted to watch that had extremely long unskippable videos, and I just go, I'm sorry, I guess I'm not going to be able to see the video that I wanted, but I will make note of who this unskippable ad is for and never give them a dime. That's my usual thing. I'll make a list of the people that won't let me skip their ads, or I'll make a list of intrusive ads that are blatantly incorrect, and make sure that I never patronize those vendors, for
Now,
want of a better word.
I just
I-
hit report. Go
I
ahead,
hate
John.
that I've watched so much YouTube now that you can skip ads. When I go to bed and watch Pluto TV, commercial come on. I'm grabbing the remote, going, ah,
There's no skip. Yeah.
there's no skip.
Tubi's like that too. I mean, they're really bringing you back to old style television where
Yep.
commercials on, run to the kitchen and get something to eat.
Yep. 3 minutes of program followed by 7 minutes of adverts.
I can go to the bathroom now.
And Carl is right. I've discovered this. If the ad is unskippable, close the window, then go back and try to watch the same video again. Often it won't repeat.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I found
But
that out accidentally with videos that I was trying to watch just before going to bed, and could not make it through, and went ahead and went to bed anyway, and just to get the channel, the views, I turned the volume off, turned the monitor off, and let the video keep
Let it
playing.
run.
When I get up the next morning and hit reload, no ads whatsoever.
Yep.
So Carl's exactly right.
Of course, now that we're talking about that, watch that
They'll fix it.
algorithm change.
Hey,
Like,
There's
damn,
no-
they're onto us.
there's another thing that I hate just as much. Is like every other video I watch on YouTube, it pops up, hey, you can pay us and we won't show you any more ads. And I'm going, yeah, if I had the money to pay you, I probably wouldn't be watching YouTube. You know, I'd be watching something worthwhile that I could pay for.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of watching, Ryan, did you watch last week's episode of Obi-Wan?
I watched last week's, and I did watch the finale that dropped yesterday. So yeah, I'm all caught up on Kenobi, so all 6 episodes, and I'm actually going to be talking about it with 2 good friends of mine, Kelly Gettner of Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, and Dave Adams of the second half of Geek at Birth. We're going to be doing a special episode next week on Monday night to go over the series that was Obi-Wan Kenobi from Disney Plus. So stay tuned, more to come, ladies and gentlemen. # always promote your stuff.
Yeah.
When you say all
Now-
6 episodes, I cringe thinking that television for a season used to be 22 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, this was always meant to be a limited series. All the series on Disney Plus, they don't stretch them out more than 6 or 8 episodes a season anyway.
Yeah. Now, did it answer
Yeah.
a lot of questions? Did this last episode answer a lot of questions?
Yeah, it definitely answered some, and I don't want to go into spoilers because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. Because believe me, I got some thoughts. But yeah, it did. It answered a lot of questions, and I thought the finale was pretty good. It was very good.
And how do you think of the treatment of the villain? Did it make him as badass as he was in Rogue One?
There's some really good scenes in this finale episode that was really, really good. So I was very impressed. I was very I was happy with it. I mean, there's 1 or 2 things I would have changed about the finale, but other than that, it was pretty solid. You know,
And the last episode was pretty solid.
it was.
Except, well, we won't go into that, but
Yeah, the finale was. Yeah.
that's pretty badass the way he fought
Mhm.
that one person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how they were able to
Stay
connect certain
tuned.
things. Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Stay tuned 10 years from now when we can talk about Kenobi on the air.
Oh, please. It's not going to take you that long to catch. It's 6 episodes. They're 35
No,
minutes
no.
each.
It'll take 10 years for people to quit complaining about spoilers.
That's what I meant.
That's true, but I didn't
Hey.
spoil anything. So.
Hey, I'm going to tell you the best spoiler I love saying is they canceled Firefly.
Yeah, but
And-
that series is still going in comic book form.
And Wash dies.
At least it's still going in comic book form, even though it's not a TV series anymore. You know, some series find a second life in comic book form. Many series have been doing that for years.
Oh, and the biggest spoiler of all that just pisses everybody off, they shot old Yeller and he died.
Yeah, I remember watching that Disney movie when I was a kid. That was
Okay.
a
Bob
sad ending.
Newhart wakes up and Suzanne Plachette's in bed next to him.
Really?
Newhart was all just a dream.
Damn,
Yeah.
this ain't the green room. I can't say that.
Really?
You can hear in my thoughts very loudly, I'm sure.
I will be right back.
After these messages. Thank you, Bill.
He's going to go put on the stainless steel colander and hook up the battery cables and see if he can pick up what it was I was thinking.
Really?
Well, Bill's a bit old-fashioned. He prefers the Back to the Future technology over the modern.
Well, I mean, have you seen his artwork page lately? I mean, the guy is killing it with his latest sketches. Have you
He
seen
always
those
has
things?
been. He always has been. I mean,
Yeah.
Bill's a fantastic artist.
You really?
Now-
I think he's criminally underrated as an artist.
In The Search for Spock,
Yeah,
did you know
I like that
That-
movie.
that Kirk stole a spaceship to go back in time with the Klingon Doc Brown?
Yeah.
Or from the Klingon
from-
Doc Brown.
I had the pleasure of meeting Christopher Lloyd once. He was a very nice man.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. He really is.
Sometimes you hate the passage of time.
Mm.
Some people should be immortal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure we will.
He was great to interact with, but yeah, you know, those two new, what was it? 2 new sketches that Bill posted? I mean, I'm going to have to put those on my tab for the next time I order prints from him, because I'm already waiting on one order of prints coming in this week
Mm-hmm.
from Bill. They should be here tomorrow, Bill, Friday, if not by Saturday-ish. So once I do, I'll take some pictures, post them on the interwebs probably, and then I'll come back here on next Thursday night's show. What is it, Stupid O'Clock? And we'll do a show and tell episode of the swagger that Ryan has gotten in the last few weeks.
And Donna Carlene says, you know, after the tomorrow night we'll talk about Suzanne Plazette.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea who that is.
Oh, ouch.
No idea.
I envy you to have that discovery still awaiting you in your lifetime.
Well,
I
that
just
sounds like
came
a
back
Google
to
search
hear
you should
Ryan
do.
say that.
Yeah, you're welcome, Bill. Look forward
Hey,
to getting those
Ryan,
prints in the mail
hey.
there, Bill.
At least we didn't recommend beach music movies for him to watch as homework.
Hmm.
So
Hey, Ryan, do you know what beep, bleep, beep, bleep, beep means?
No.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little bit confused right now.
Dan does. Stephanie
Dan,
does.
well, that's because Dan's been around for like 600 years. No offense, Dan.
6,000.
6,000, sorry. Yeah, I don't know who these people are, and I don't know what that noise was just now, so I may have to do some new Googling, or maybe Dan is going to have to whisper something in my ear or put something in the messenger chat privately to me. I don't know.
I actually used that in some of the stories
Hey,
because it was current at the time.
and there is nothing more disappointing than going through the full song
Mm-hmm.
that's like, what, 45 seconds long to get connection failed.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay. Remember the dial-up days. I remember the dial-up days of America Online when we had those computers in our house.
Okay, here's one for you.
I remember.
Lindsay was trying to text me at work all day with a shopping list of stuff she wanted me to pick up at the grocery store on the way home.
Mm-hmm.
Got home, and as soon as I walked within range of our Wi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
the message came through. So I tried to call her cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
It failed.
Ah.
I sent her a text because it went through our Wi-Fi. It succeeded.
I'll be right back.
Oh. Come to find out,
Commercial break for that one.
my phone service had expired, and they did not tell me before it expired that it was time to re-up. So
Is
I had
that-
to find a way. Yeah, that's Suzanne Plachette right there.
Is it? Hold on a second. Is it Daisy Duke
Nope.
from Dukes of Hazzard? No.
That would
No.
be
That was
Catherine Bach.
That was
Sorry.
Catherine Bach, who's much taller.
Not to be
Sorry.
confused with Barbara Bach, who
He had a
is,
red shirt
Ringo
on. I
Starr's
assumed it was
wife.
Daisy Duke. My bad.
That was
Look
a
at her
nightgown.
shirt.
Oh, sorry.
Actually, those were long johns.
Oh, thanks. I can't tell the difference between one article of clothing to the next. So she was in what film now? It was that TV series Free State
That
you
was
showed.
the film Support Your Local Gunfighter.
Ah, yes.
I never heard of that.
Really?
With the,
But then
with
again,
James
I'm
Garner.
quite young compared to everyone else on this panel.
James
so-
Garner.
They did an alternate version of the same film called Support Your Local Sheriff, which had a nearly identical plot, but not exactly. And both of them were hits.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Carl just said, Ryan, go on YouTube and watch any of the Dr. What is that? Goldfoot movies? Is that what he said? Okay. I never heard of Dr. Goldfoot, but okay. All right.
I
all
have
right.
never seen that photograph before.
If
but,
that was from the 70s or whatever it was, that's she's got a little bit of a Linda Carter thing going on there.
Yeah.
Linda Carter.
Jack,
and
yeah. Sarah's right. Jack Elam was in both of those movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, generation gap.
And
Sarah. There's a big generation gap between me and the 4 or 5 other people on this panel. No offense.
I know Harry Morgan was in one, but I can't
He was in
remember if
both.
he was in both of them.
He was in both.
Now that I can't say.
He was in both of them.
He was. Okay.
Because didn't he play Suzanne Plachette's father or something?
He played the
nature.
father in both movies, actually.
Oh, and there was another movie in the same time period called a Big Hand for the Little Lady, which had a very similar plot, but not exactly the same. But it was a Western. I mean, these things happen. I got to see accidentally. I got to see an interview with Robert Conrad, where he was talking about being on Wild Wild West as it was, first run, being made, all this other, and there were stories that I had never heard or read before, even though I was a fan of the show. And
Get ready for a bunch of comments from Sarah Heiser, because that's, I think, her favorite show and her favorite actor.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he actually even talked about the Will Smith movie version. And
what did he think of it?
He had no objection to it. He thought that it was not given a fair shake, but he also said that Will Smith had just about the same business playing Robert Conrad as Robert Conrad would have been if he had been asked to play Martin Luther King.
I was going to say a rap star.
Well, I mean, I thought that was going just a hair too far, but hey, the man's 20 years older than I am, so I can't say, hey, you shouldn't say that, even though I didn't think he should have said that. But
Dan, you didn't try to knock that battery off his shoulder?
Hey, I'm 65. I'm not stupid.
Just a little ever-ready battery. It's not that big.
Yeah, it's Robert Conrad. You don't mess with Robert Conrad.
Walter said in the chat earlier, he says, I never knew Bill was an artist years ago. Well, more you know there, Walter.
Well,
yeah, really?
Yeah, that's what he said in the chat.
Walt and I, we're friends through my brother, but I believe me and my brother both met Walt at the same time. Walt is a coon hunter.
Oh.
And we met on the CB. That was his handle. And to find out that he actually was a real coon hunter. And we found this out one time. We were riding along in Walt's 1965 Ford, what was it, Walt? F-150 camper special or something like that. In the middle of a summer night, headed towards his house, which where he lived in Indiana at the time only had about 30 people that lived there. And I highly suspect that they were all related. And then all of a sudden, he hits his spotlight that he had mounted on the truck and goes off into a cornfield, grabs his gun, and you hear boom, 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 boom. And I can't remember if he came back with anything or not, but he saw something that neither one of us saw. Could have been Bigfoot, could have been an alien, but I think it was a raccoon. So,
Okay, I've got to reply to this one.
I guess Robert Conrad passed away in 2020. You could probably take him on now, Dan, says Carl.
no,
Carl.
he's still too tough.
There's a list of people that, dead or alive, I ain't going up against. Conrad, Christopher Lee.
Christopher Lee.
Oh, no.
Bruce
no.
Lee.
Bruce Lee, yes.
Yeah,
I don't care if they are dead. I ain't laying a finger on either one.
Have
I'm
you
not
seen
even
that
talk
movie,
bad.
Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee? My gosh.
Oh Lord, yes.
Woo.
Have you seen A Fistful of Yen?
Did that come in the collection that I bought of his films some time ago? I don't think it did.
It wasn't, properly speaking, a Bruce Lee movie. It was.
What's
it
wrong,
was-
Joe?
Joe knows what I'm talking about.
No, it's just something that flashed up on the screen up
Oh.
above me.
We didn't get a copyright, did we?
No.
Okay.
Somebody, Elon was asking what they should send up on the first test flight,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody suggested a dairy cow, and Elon replied back, with PETA, that'd be an utter disaster.
Send up the CEO of your competition.
John, you saw me shaking my head, but y'all wanted to know.
No. Fistful of Yen was. It was a small segment of a movie that came out in the late 70s, I do believe, and it was called Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh, Lord.
And it was basically a series of vignettes making fun of different movies and different TV shows and things like that. And this was the longest segment of the movie, and it was a parody of Enter the Dragon.
Kentucky Fried Movie
okay,
came out
okay.
in 74.
74. Oh, okay. I thought it was more
Okay.
like 78, but yeah, okay.
So, I'm sorry, 77. I misread that.
Okay. I was close.
It's
I
a
was in college.
it's a
So,
Zucker
Ryan,
Brothers
if-
movie, yeah.
Ryan,
That-
if you're familiar with the Weird Al movie UHF, Kentucky Fried Movie is pretty right along the same lines. Of course, came out way before
And
UHF.
UHF was better production value.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
There was another one called The Boob Tube, which came out just
Yeah.
about the same time as Kentucky Fried Movie. It was the same format.
You know, John Landis directed Kentucky Fried Movie.
Mhm.
No wonder that sequence was
And
so
it's,
good.
of course, the Zucker Brothers.
On an old computer, I did actually manage to get one of those questionable downloads of Kentucky Fried Movie, and I chopped out the entire sequence having to do with Fistful of Yen, and the closing sequence of the movie itself, one of the closing sequences, which tied back into Fistful of Yen, and I spliced it all together and made one teeny tiny little movie, and put it in as not a prequel, but maybe a in credits special effects scene for Enter the Dragon. Now that computer has died years ago, so that little bit of artistic editing on my part no longer exists. But it was still fun, considering the primitive programs that I was using to create it. It worked out pretty well.
More crazy movies I got to add to my to-do list.
Oh yeah. Now. I do sometimes at the beginning of a show quote one of the lines from a Kentucky Fried Movie, the very opening sequence, and because nobody knows what I'm talking about, it's never gotten a laugh, but unless it's from old farts like me that actually sit there and go fall out of the chair, memories.
Like
one of my favorite Bill Murray movies, which is one of his lesser ones, that came out in '80, Where the Buffalo Roam, where he's portraying Hunter S. Thompson. Peter Boyle is in there playing his freaked out lawyer. Laszlo, I can't think of what Laszlo's last name was, but it's a very hip.
Laszlo's last name either.
Victor Laszlo?
It's a very hippie looking Peter Boyle, and Bruno Kirby played basically, well, they couldn't say Rolling Stone magazine or Jan Wenner or that, but that's basically who he was. They gave him a different name in the movie, and instead of calling it Rolling Stone magazine, they called it Blast magazine. But if you know anything about the exploits of Hunter Thompson during those days and all the different pieces that he wrote for Rolling Stone and Playboy and all these other magazines, and the hell that he put the editors through with deadlines and everything, it's just hilarious. And the whole movie actually starts out showing something to that effect, that one of them are faxing him wanting his story, that it's long overdue, and he's ripping pages out of the telephone book and sending those off to him.
Now the Uncle Duke character from the Doonesbury cartoons in the newspaper, that was based on Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Gonzo journalism.
Yes.
Yeah.
The long cigarette holder was appropriate to the character because Thompson used one. I wouldn't want to say what wound up stuck into the cigarette holder, but still family programming hour at 10 o'clock.
Homegrown.
Homegrown.
Or as George Carlin called it, Toledo window box.
Toledo window box. Yes, that's it. Evidently, there was somebody that actually tried that.
Okay, this here is one of the things. This is back. Okay, Ryan, you wouldn't know this, but at one time, Rolling Stone magazine was actually a newspaper.
Oh wow!
And this is one of his articles, "The Battle for Aspen." And I know I do have. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is actually what Rolling Stone magazine used to look like.
Oh wow!
And this is when he was actually writing Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and he would write so many chapters at a time, send it off to Rolling Stone, and they would print the chapters in the magazine, and then the book would come out later. This illustrations on the front cover is done by Ralph Steadman, who was Thompson's official illustrator, And there's actually on one of my sketches that I've done a Hunter Thompson sketch showing him carrying the great big duffel bag full of illegal drugs and alcohol dripping out and everything in his Hawaiian shirt. And that was actually from a Ralph Steadman piece. And as you can see, Steadman is a little psychotic and strange, just like Thompson. So
looks like he would have fit right in with the.
Yeah, they were lifelong friends.
No, I mean, it looks like his artwork would have fit right in with the heavy metal magazine.
Yeah.
Now, I actually have a paperback copy of Hunter Thompson's Hell's Angels book, where he rode with them for a while and wrote a book about it. It did not have a happy ending, but
and you can witness that unhappy ending on a talk show, and I can't remember what talk show it was, but you can see it on YouTube, where they have Hunter Thompson, a younger Hunter Thompson, in a striped T-shirt and not sporting his signature aviator sunglasses and cigarette on the great big long cigarette holder that he always used to use. And there's about 8 or 10 Hell's Angels there, and they're all talking about the book and that Thompson screwed over the Hell's Angels because they promised them something, and you thought, okay, it's all about money. No, Thompson promised them cases of beer, which supposedly he didn't follow through on.
Several cases, about a truckload of cases of beer.
Yeah, it's a very funny piece from the talk show, but also at the same time it's pretty scary because they kind of get up in his face, and you're thinking, okay, something's going to go bad real quick.
I'm surprised that they actually did that if it happened before the actual ending scenes of the book, where they got up in his face and it ended very badly for him. But it's a good book for its time, and it's a good exploration into something that a lot of people will never have the chance to experience. I put it right up there with Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test. That was Ken. Bugger. Oh Lord. Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test was back there in the Summer of Love, basically. Ken Casey, guy that wrote One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He and a large selection of friends got on a bus and rode around having adventures in the late 1960s, and basically tied directly into the Ken Casey. Thank you, Carl. I finally did remember. It was in the Woodstock era, basically, a few years before, a few years after, that sort of thing.
Now, I think they were also doing it in the late 50s, too, because it seems like that's when Thompson met him and Jack Kerouac and Burroughs and all the rest of the crew there that you would, that hung out together and went on those same trips.
I would think that was sort of a prequel to what actually was in that book.
It was more like during the Beatnik generation.
Yeah, that would definitely have been the prequel. Oh, Pica. Hey, how you doing? Well, Stephanie's here. It's not a sausage party. She's just having technical difficulties with her computer. Never seen Ryan so quiet. Oh, well, he's just being respectful because I'm running my mouth. All right. Yeah.
Give him a chance. He'll talk over everybody, and we won't get a word in.
Oh, John B. Pike is. I'm sorry. I'm
Bill's
looking at
here.
I'm looking at different stuff on the interwebs. Anyway, don't worry, it's all family friendly stuff that I'm looking at on the interwebs. Ken Kate, what is that? Pence truck, Ken Casey. Hey fellas, what's happening on the? Oh geez, sausage fight. Good lord, man. I've never seen Ryan so quiet. Well, Johnny B. Pica, if you were here earlier, you would have heard me talking about all the great, wonderful things that have happened recently. Whether it's ordering a good set of prints from, where am I pointing to? This guy right here, the artwork of Bill Sarton. Follow him on Facebook, why don't you? He's got some great stuff for sale, I might add. And I just put together my merchandise.
Yeah, did you get those yet?
So, no, I haven't gotten them yet. They should be here by tomorrow, though. If not
tomorrow, yeah. I thought they said 23rd, but it could have been 24th.
There we go.
It's supposed to be here tomorrow, if not Saturday. But yeah, and then I just started my own merchandise store that you can buy, and I quote and other types of designs I put together on my store. So feel free to check it out, John B. Pica. It's linked to my link tree, and I did post about it on Facebook.
Oh, dang, that sucks.
The air show that was canceled. Wow. Sorry to hear that, Johnny. But you know what? There's always next time. There's always next time.
I find it hard to believe. Maybe everybody was just tied up with something, and anyway,
they were tied up with watching CBS, and they were tied up with watching this great show known as Stupid O'Clock.
Oh, there was something fantastic that happened at LibertyCon that I would like to have shared at LibertyCon, but I can now. Mm-hmm. My publisher had a table there in the vendor's suite.
Yes, he did.
And they had one copy of Abducted. And I walked up to the table and go, want me to autograph that? I get an extra dime out of it. So I did. And I don't know if anybody bought it at LibertyCon, but they'll keep toting it around. And
I did not see it on the table.
Autographed, but
I did not see it on the table anywhere, Dan, on Friday.
It was in the rack on the right-hand side as you face the table, about 2 sections down from the top.
I didn't see it. So
hey, I'm hoping somebody bought it. I did not date it because I figure if nobody bought it, then the next convention they put it out on, whoever buys it can put the date on it if they want. Whoever bought it can put the date on it if they want. I just signed my name and go. I didn't even personalize it because there wasn't a to whom it may concern message that I could think of at the time. So I just thought it was cool.
John says so. He's driving back home. Well, be careful, John, driving. Just listen and then to the show. And
really, I hope you're using speech to text and not texting while you're driving, John.
Yeah,
that's one of my pet peeves.
No driving with your knees there, John, while texting.
Let me see. That doesn't have something. Yeah, safe travels back home there, John. Sorry to hear about your show, but you know what? There's always next time. And hey, you got our golden voices in your ear if you're listening to us. So there you go.
I got to share this real quick.
Oh, of course.
This is happening right now.
Okay.
All right. They are fixing to lift the booster for the first time onto the launch pad. So, in typical Elon fashion, they're doing a fireworks show.
Very far away from the fuel tanks.
I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. In typical Elon fashion, were there supposed to be fireworks, or did they happen after they tried to launch something?
It's what they're supposed to be having the fireworks.
Yeah, as long as they don't happen during them trying to launch something. Yeah. Oh.
And what I can't understand is they have not built a flame trench for this thing. It's just going to in 33 different directions of flames.
Well, that's one way to get a new concrete pad.
Yeah.
Excavate the old one.
But you got to realize the thing's sitting up on the pad, and it is almost 70 feet in the air. So, they do have that much room.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got a flame trench or a berm that, if you figure the launch angle and everything on the ground spreading out, it's going to go over the tank farm. So that should be fun.
One would
Seeing
hope.
seeing a
Duck.
largest amount of rocket engines ever fired shooting flames over their tank farm.
Duck.
One way to get a rocket into orbit.
I'm guessing there's not a single Russian engineer on Elon's team.
Nope.
Good.
And you can blame SpaceX on the Russians.
Yeah.
You've heard the story.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to buy 3 Soyuz rockets to launch test projects to Mars, and Russia told him, no, build your own rockets.
So he did.
Yeah. And John Pike is saying, also, Ryan, your show with Crail last night had the highest number of live views of any shows to date on the Cereal Box Network.
Wow. Okay.
That's a
Wow,
congratulations.
Definitely.
Way to go.
Thanks.
total
I did
10
not know
people.
that. You had 110 people. Wow. Okay, I did not know that, John. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, Crayley and I. It was only our second episode too. We've only done 2 episodes of this new series, simply known as Comic Books: The New Class, and it's been a lot of fun. We got merch for that too now, fellas. We got merch for Comic Books: The New Class. So you want to put some of that swagger on your mantle, or get yourself some nice looking shirts or whatever. There's a link for that. And yes, John, I will take the liberty of posting that in the Stupid O'Clock Facebook page later on tonight.
I did not know that dehydration made arthritis worse.
Really?
Worse.
Hmm.
God. I swear, I've only had 15 of these. But,
wow, that's amazing, John. I had no idea. We just did the show. We had fun with it. I knew we had people watching because we had people in the chat, chiming in there, whether it be George or otherwise. But 110 people watching. Jeez. That's a plethora right there. Yeah.
I don't have that many viewers of every Last Man Standing that's ever been filmed collectively.
Really? Oh, jeez.
I'm waiting on Stephanie's face because she's going to be looking at something.
Hmm.
Oh.
Okay, what
In-
did
in-
I miss?
In the messenger.
Oh, jeez.
Only Stephanie gets to see it.
In the messenger.
It's a private chat.
Hmm. Let's figure that out.
Oh.
I don't know how that works.
Oh,
You-
that is so cute.
I really don't.
Yeah, John, I was very, very dehydrated Thursday, and it's taken me an entire week basically to get back to some semblance of normal. But for some reason, my arthritis has been much worse over the past 2 days. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with the dehydration, but I wouldn't put it past it. And
Definitely wouldn't help it.
Oh,
Hey.
and I did get this confirmation. We haven't locked down a date. We've locked down the month. In July, we will have a special guest on the show, on the Thursday night show. And as he calls it, the show about nothing. Les Johnson.
oh, well, Stephanie, you've got to be here. You're the only one of us smart enough to be able to carry on a conversation with him.
Well, he and I went to grad school together.
Now, wait a minute. I thought Seinfeld was the show about nothing.
I know, that's my favorite sitcom of all time. It's about nothing. It's a show about nothing.
And we have taken and run with it, and we have tens of viewers at a time.
You know, given a month, I probably still could not come up with an intelligent question to ask him. So, I've got lots of stupid questions I can ask Stephanie, but she knows I'm an idiot. So,
Not. Not.
Well, you were one of the smart guys there, Dan.
Um,
Maybe not so much anymore.
it
I'll be back.
depends. It depends on what crowd that I'm amongst.
I had
You
to
put-
get away. I had to leave on that.
Look what Johnny just said. He says, Ryan, Seinfeld is the greatest sitcom of all time. I knew I liked you for a reason. Yes, John, you and I are really good friends, and I'm happy that we are because it's the show about nothing. It's great. I can quote it endlessly, and you can rewatch it endlessly. And if anyone's wondering if you can stream Seinfeld, it is streaming on Netflix, for those of you who may be wondering where it is now.
Yeah.
How large was the group at LibertyCon?
700, little over 700 showed up.
Okay.
Are you kidding?
There were 300 and something badges not claimed.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow.
I had heard that there was something on the order of 1,120 that were supposed to show up.
Yeah, from what I heard, there was 300 badges unclaimed.
Well, that would explain some of the missing familiar faces.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Good night,
night.
Carl.
Good night, Carl.
Oh, phew.
Yeah, Ryan, you put me in a group of rocket scientists. I'm no longer the smartest person in the freaking room.
Okay. Well,
I may understand what they're saying, but my education is sadly lacking in that particular field of endeavor. And my understanding is very simplistic. So, in that field of endeavor, I'm not calling myself dumb by any means, but when I'm among people whose education is much more widely varied than mine, I am well aware of it. But I give it my best and try and think of a smart thing a smart question to ask.
Oh, and while we're talking about shows, HallowCon now is having a specific show about HallowCon on Tuesday nights.
Mm-hmm.
Our next show is Tuesday, July 5th, with a guest who's made several past appearances, John B. Pica himself.
There you go.
And John says he didn't even know LibertyCon's happened. Nobody tells me anything. Guess nobody really wants him around. Well, LibertyCon was sold out in 2019 in 29 minutes.
Yeah.
And 36 seconds.
And all the tickets have rolled over during lockdown. This was the first live LibertyCon since the plague hit.
And didn't they increase the membership by 250?
Yes.
Yeah, to accommodate the rollovers and
the rollovers and new people.
Yep, they went from 750 to 1,000, and they had to argue about that amongst themselves for a while because they do not want to go over the limit for their what's the
501c3.
There you go. Joe Dog running conventions knows this term.
Yes.
I could not remember it, but yeah. Once you get over that limit, there's something else you've got to file for, and it's not. That would decrease the amount of contributions to the charity every year, because there'd be extra fees and extra taxes that had to be paid. So, it's still a family reunion, and
you just got to keep Sam happy.
Keep who happy?
Sam.
Oh, yes, our weird uncle.
Yeah.
I liked the way that the Master of Ceremonies introduced the guests of honor this year, as by identifying them as various family members. So.
Okay. See, I missed opening ceremonies. By the time I got to opening ceremonies, I realized by the
Oh,
time
no. My bad. It was the guest of honor speeches.
Oh, okay.
Hardest speech I've ever had to give.
I made
can
it. I made
understand.
it through 99% of opening ceremonies, and then realized I should have actually grabbed a chair from someone. Standing up is the wrong thing for me to do, or was the wrong thing for me to do after getting there Thursday and being unwell.
Yeah.
But I had to skip closing ceremonies for fear of the same thing happening. I
Well,
could have gone in and grabbed a chair and been selfish, but I thought, well, let's just sit out here in the air conditioning and drink a couple of more bottles of water. And Lindsay went in and watched it, so she told me everything. So that's you know.
July
I
16th at 12 p.m. or 12 noon, and badges will be $20 available, and you have to sign in through the LibertyCon website.
hmm I've already got that bookmarked on my computer at work, and let's. It would be nice if we had several days for the convention to sell out rather than trying to beat the 26-minute record of the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're popular, but not everybody can get in there at the precise moment it opens
Yeah.
and start throwing money. Um,
And I think the 29 minutes and 36 seconds was at 7 o'clock in the morning.
It was.
it was certainly very early. I've just barely made it. Thank God I clock in at 6:30. I got to my lab and fired up the computer and I said, "Hey, anything I've got to do today gonna have to wait till after this." And jumped in there and still my badge was in the high uh, 140s. So within just 5 minutes, 140 something odd people, and some of them very odd, uh, had beaten me to the checkout. So
Well,
this is like Christmas shopping. I mean,
I think they did let the staff buy their badges early so they could get all their staff in.
yeah, which is understandable. It's almost if you want a successful show, it's almost required.
Y'all are lucky I did not just scream.
Uh-oh.
I'm barefoot and I've got my feet up on the recliner footrest, and
Yeah.
I just had a cat jump up and land on my feet.
Ow. After all
Yeah.
that after all that work of getting them smoothed out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of such things, Dan talking about being dehydrated.
Mm.
I thought I was staying hydrated, but then when I went in to the doctors to have blood work drawn,
Yes,
and
I read your post today. That did not sound. I mean, that sounded painful.
they went in here where they usually go, and they dug around and dug around and dug around and couldn't get anything except I've got a nice blood blister thingy here. So then they went on the top, and I got a nice bruise there. She got 1 out of 5 vials there, and then it decided to quit giving milk. So then she come over here, and I've got like at least 3 holes poked that I can see, and got nothing out of those. And she finally went in on the top over here, and that's where she got the rest of the blood from. I came out of there with gauze all over the place.
The mummy
Yeah,
returned.
they had
Yeah.
supply problems. They didn't have the usual bandages for that, did they?
Yeah, the compression bandage stuff they didn't have because they couldn't get it through the supply. So I came out all over uh, gauze and medical adhesive tape. So
Yeah, I like that compression bandage when I go to get my blood work done because then you can just roll it right off and You just have the little cotton swab underneath, so you're not ripping off this Band-Aid and ripping half your skin off.
Mm-hmm.
Good point, John.
John, I don't drink caffeine. I have like about 4 different medical conditions that preclude it, one of which could kill me. And I drink, you see this? That's 50 ounces. I drink a minimum of 2 of these every day. So,
And John, you have to be careful about how much water you drink a day, because there is such thing as drinking too much water. And there have been people that actually drowned in their own tissues because of that.
well,
There
you
was
can
a-
flush out your electrolytes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a lady that was trying to win a radio competition, and she drank so much water that she died from the
It was
electrolytes being flushed out
the
of her
new
system.
Nintendo Wii, and the game was the last person not to pee wins.
I bet they disallowed that contest for a long time after that one.
Mm.
Let's put it to you this way: the radio station changed ownerships.
Ooh.
Mm.
And also, I'm going to say, whoever hears of Nintendo Wii anymore?
Oh, and now I understand the pun that gave them the idea for that contest.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that. And the thing was, I think it was like she was a little girl,
Mm. Did
and
not know that.
the thing was you had to drink a 16 or damn, I've already drank both my bottles of water today during the show.
Yeah, really.
You had to drink one of these every 30 minutes. And whoever had to go pee, if you have to go pee, you're out. Or if you pee on yourself, you're out. And
Why?
What?
Why?
They were trying to win a Nintendo Wii.
No, I get that, but why? What was the point of that particular
go
mode
with
of
the pun.
competition?
Wii.
I get that,
Yeah.
But-
Wii.
why were they?
If you had to go wee, you were out of the game.
Oh, I get it. They were all French.
If you had to go pee, you were out. It's about
Yeah.
like
If
about-
you
It's
drink
like a
that much-
drinking game, Stephanie. It's
I
like
know, but if you have to drink that much, you're going to have to.
exactly.
yeah.
And the last person in wins. It's like there's
It's
a
That is
very
brand new
possibly
college.
one of the only thing that I can think of that beats that for stupidity is the Tide Pod challenge.
yeah.
Close. Very, very
It's
close.
it's sort of like the one where you got to put your hand on a car and you can't let go.
But
Walter
it's July
Flack
in Arizona.
Walter Flack says, "What did the winner get? A brand new Nintendo Wii."
1978 Chrysler Cordoba.
And the runner-up got a coffin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, give them a cough drop.
Yep, that
Oh.
was. I don't remember what year that was, but I know that I had actually my local radio station was covering the
Mhm.
aftermath of the
Yeah.
competition, and
It was early
not,
2000s. It was
yeah,
early 2000s.
they were not complimentary towards the radio personalities that came up with the contest.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, several people, were filed. I think, negligence charges was brought up on the company, and they're under, one of the big, there's only 3 radio companies in the country now,
now, yeah.
and that station's now owned by them, by one of the big 3.
Big three.
There are several independent radio stations out there, but
Yeah.
they do not have the broadcast power to compete.
No.
Nope. There's one I can't even pick up on the radio at work where I used to listen to it before. Basically, if you walk 10 feet from where you could pick up their signal, you could
You
no longer
lost it.
pick up their signal anymore. But they had the best music. I mean, it was the ultimate in variety. You could hear uh, a classic rock song, you could hear a Motown song, you could hear Adamant, you could hear country, you could hear classical, and this is in the same half hour. They just jump from genre to genre over and over again. It was one of the best radio stations I have ever listened to in my life, and they were very, very, very low power. So
Oh, and speaking of we and a bunch of bottles of water, I just lost the contest. I'll be right back.
I understood that reference.
You,
That No, I got it. I completely understand. That man is playing Galaga. I wouldn't notice, but
oh, that's
we
where
did.
my arthritis came from. Actually, is playing Galaga.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, that
I
is
used.
something else. Did you have the high score of the game that year?
Oh no, no, I didn't. But
Oh, really?
I would leave work at 7 o'clock in the morning after working night shift. I would drive over to a local game room that opened up at 7 o'clock. I'd get there about 7:30, and I would get change for a $10 bill in quarters. I would go to the Galaga machine, which nobody seemed to use, and I would sit there till my money was gone, day after day after day.
Till my money was gone. Okay.
Yep, and
yet another Seinfeldism.
hey,
No.
I got really good. I got really good at the game, but I was not the record high scorer on the machine. Some 12-year-old had that one.
Well, just to give you a little bit of context here, the game that was played on Seinfeld wasn't Galaga; it was actually Frogger.
Frogger.
Sorry, Bill. I knew where you were going with that, but I'm since I'm a Seinfeld.
Well, when you asked him about the high score, I'm thinking of George trying to protect his high score in Frogger.
Frogger. Yeah, because what was it? He wanted to protect his high score, so what he would do is he hired these guys to put in a battery for it because they were going to move from one place to another. But the guys ran the battery out to the point where George had to push it across the street because there was only like 2 minutes of battery power left. So he's literally playing Frogger in real life in the middle of the street of New York during the course of that episode. So if you go back and watch the episode just simply known as The Frogger, you'll understand what I'm saying. See, I'm even hearing the... Yeah, see, Bill's got a soundboard back there. Isn't that lovely? Bringing back some old school theme songs there from them video games. Yes, sir.
That was the game that I spent thousands and thousands of quarters on back in the day, back in the late 70s.
The one that I thought cheated was the Tron game.
Ooh,
when you got to the tank level, it took 3 hits to get one of the machine's tanks, but it only took 1 hit on yours and you were out. I thought that was cheating. I'm sure that others would disagree, but if they're supposed to be the same design tank, why 3 versus 1? Anyway, that also swallowed up several dollars worth of my quarters. Tail Gunner. Anybody remember that one?
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard of it, but I never played it.
Oh, that was actually a friend of mine was almost addicted to that.
Really?
Well, I say almost, but that was his favorite game, and he was the one that introduced me to it, and I could understand his fascination because it was not easy, but it was very emotionally rewarding when you cleared a level and went on. There were oh, good Lord, lots and lots of games back then. Some simpler and some more complex at the time. I remember
Atari's Battle Zone.
Yes. Yep.
The most simplistic game I ever truly, truly enjoyed playing on the Atari 2600 was bowling. I don't know why, but just to, it's like actually going bowling and saying, you got to put that certain spin on it to get the strike every time. And you pretty much had to do that with the joystick, the 2600 joystick that you would eventually break.
I remember one that was it was an Atari console that had 4 built-in games, and it was sold by Sears, and it had Pong, tennis, Breakaway, and Breakout, and that was the only things it could do. There was no cartridge slot or anything else.
I was thinking that Coleco came out with the original version of that, and Sears had just like Sears had a copy of the Atari 2600.
Same thing. Could have been
Coleco.
Yeah.
Sears just paid them to put their sticker on it.
Yep.
I think one of them came with, I can't remember which one, but one of them I think came with Duck Hunt. It seemed like that was one of the ones that was.
That was one of the I don't know, remember the company, but it actually had the little flashlight pistol that you would aim at the screen, which seemed strange since it was the game console that would have been sensing where you had the damn thing pointed. Unless it was all just random to start with.
I've shot at those ducks. I shot them. You don't know how many times I've shot that damn dog.
I can pretty much sympathize. I love dogs, but that one was obnoxious.
Oh yeah. He'd laugh at you when you miss. When he laughed.
What happened when you shot him?
Nothing.
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah. He'd pop back up.
Very quiet.
Pop up shaking a crutch in one leg in a cast.
Were you just talking about me? What's going on?
I'm hunting ducks.
You're hunting duck. I remember that game, Duck
Rabbits.
Hunt. That was on Nintendo, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember.
Which one did that come with the game, Ryan? I remember.
It was
Was
the
it
NES.
Nintendo?
Yeah,
Okay.
the Entertainment System. Yeah.
The original.
Yeah, the NES.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember because my brothers were the ones who had it at the time, and then I just, played games with them because I grew up with 2 older brothers, so they're the ones that experienced all that stuff a little bit before I did.
Oh wow!
So
And
how many times in Duck Hunt did you shoot the dog?
Probably about 5 or. Let me see. What's the thing that they use in sports? Probably 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Makes
I wasn't
perfect
aiming for the dog, but unfortunately, I think I was so excited about shooting these things. Anything that moved, I just shot at it.
No, I'd intentionally.
But that damn dog kept jumping up all the time.
Well,
How could you not shoot him?
yeah, I guess I got him.
I remember. Yeah, he was.
So there was, what was it? It was Duck Hunt. It was what was it? Super Mario. There was
Mario.
What was it called? Rad Racer. I think it was one of them.
And Parker Brothers had the rights to the Star Wars video games and Spider-Man, and I thought, oh great, cool, Star Wars and Spider-Man, and I went right out, bought them both, which took me a couple weeks because I think they were all about, each one was like $45 or something like that back then, and only to find out they were the most horriblest graphics in the world.
4-bit graphics.
Bad.
Off-road.
The Return of the Jedi one was extremely bad.
Off-road was a fun game to play on Nintendo back in the day.
Yeah.
Now,
Anyone
what,
remember
what
Off-road?
y'all are making me remember is that time period was about the last time I actually played pool on a real pool table.
Really?
And I'm wondering if I could even play anymore.
You can always try.
Hey, I'd love to.
I mean,
Dad actually bought us a pool table. Had it in the basement for years,
Okay.
And then I came home from college one Christmas and had bought repair kits for all the pool cues,
Mhm.
only to find out Dad had sold the table and the pool cues like 2 weeks before Christmas.
Oof. It's unfortunate, actually.
Yeah, it really
Now that
was.
I think
Pissed
about
me
it.
off, but you know.
Mm. Yeah, those were the days playing NES with your brothers, or just playing NES myself. When I got my own time to play with on the video game system, those were some fun times.
Well,
SNES, Sega Genesis, those were our thing back in the day. There was Game Gear, there was Game Boy. You
first
wore
one I
out
ever played was Pong.
know.
I wore out an awful lot of
I played that
computer
too.
style games.
Yeah.
Let's see, Doom, Doom 2,
I
Heretic,
remember playing Doom.
Hexen.
Yeah.
What's
What was the other
the
one called? Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
Never.
God.
I watched people play that one, but I never actually
Duke
played it
Nukem.
myself. Duke
Duke
Nukem. That
yeah,
was the one I was
John
trying to
brings up a
remember.
good
Yeah,
point.
Duke Nukem
Uh,
was a
Duke
good.
Nukem was
I
another one.
actually had a copy
And
of Duke Nukem in 3D, and
um,
that was the most annoying game. If you couldn't figure out, you had to flip a
No,
switch on a
the
wall
most
here to have
annoying
something happen in
game,
another building.
the most annoying game back in those days was Leisure Suit Larry.
I'll take your word for it. I know exactly what you're talking about. I
now,
only read about it, but
No.
now
uh,
Contra was a good one. They had Contra and then Super Contra, which I can't remember which one I played more, but
Was it Contra? And then there was Contra Mega or something? Or am I thinking of Castlevania?
Ninja Gaiden was
Ninja,
one
it
that
was
I thought
Ninja
was pretty
Gaiden.
Oh,
Gaiden,
what was the one?
Gaiden,
Uh,
whatever.
It was Ninja Gaiden.
Shinobi.
Shinobi, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I played both of them. Oh, what about Double Dragon? Anyone remember that?
Yeah, but I actually remember the cartoon more than I do the game because I didn't. By then, I was kind of getting out of the gaming.
Double Dragon was a lot of fun for my brothers and I, and even my friends too. We all remember the 8-bit theme song. Sorry.
Hey Joe,
Can't help
Yeah.
it.
I'm not going to do the end song for the same reason you didn't do the national anthem.
Okay.
We don't want to get busted again.
Oh yeah,
Watch that be what got the hit.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want me to.
Legend of Zelda.
No, we're going to run one thing and see if we get the hit again.
We play the rubber chicken. We can play the horse and the rubber chicken again.
Watch that be what we get a hit on.
Oh, John, please.
I hope not. Stephanie will start crawling through the computer grabbing some heads.
I like my horse with the rubber chicken.
Yeah, Steph, we.
No, I'm talking about the end song. If that's what gives us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no joke.
Oh, see, now I know where you're going with this. Got it. What was it? The only one I completed was something known as Legends of Zelda, according to Walter in the chat. Okay. I never really played much Zelda. I never really did.
I played Zelda, but I had the Game Genie, which granted us unlimited lives. And me and Donna's husband sat in the living room floor. We started about 7 o'clock in the morning, and it took us to nearly 9 or 10 o'clock that night. And we had a map to know where we were going to complete the game.
Ultima.
Now, if I remember right, did not Robin Williams love Legend of Zelda so much he named his
daughter Zelda.
child? Yeah.
Wow. I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to the late
Daughter,
Robin
was
Williams.
it, John?
Daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know it was daughter or granddaughter or
I
what.
had
But
no idea.
That's a reasonable name as opposed to something like Moon Unit.
Yeah.
hey,
Or
Frank-
Apple, like
Frank
Gwyneth
gave-
Paltrow.
Frank gave Moon Unit the chance to change her name once she reached 18. He said,
Yep.
if you can come up with something that isn't sillier than what I gave you, and she came up with something that was sillier than what he gave her. So he said, nope, ain't signing the papers.
And did you see the video I posted in Uncle Carl's Secret Humor group last night? It was I can't think of the name of the song now, the Frank Zappa song, but it's very strange and weird and Zappa-like.
Really?
It was really late when I posted it too. That was about the only time you'd want to view such things. But
if you could describe it to me, I can probably name it and maybe even be able to tell you what album it came off of.
30 seconds.
in this particular video, which I believe was from the early 80s, they were on stage. I don't know if that was from Old Gray Whistle Test or SNL or whatever that they were on, but it was in front of a live studio audience. And the song had one word for the title, kind of like abducted or something, but that's not the title.
Apostrophe.
And they said they were going to do the song, and they did a instrumental version first. Then Frank said, let's do the dance version. And it was like an improv dance that Ruth and all the members in Zappa's band did, which was just completely crazy. But yeah, you have to go in there and look at it. It's typical Zappa. I'll just say that.
If it's a one-word title, I'm guessing it's apostrophe. But
That might be it.
I don't know. Good question.
and that would have been off the Apostrophe album. Yes, I've only got about 70 Frank Zappa albums. I mean, I'm no expert.
Jeez.
I'm talking about in vinyl.
Okay, I know what vinyl is. Don't get me wrong. I know exactly what vinyl is because I have friends of mine that can still collect that to this very day. I might add.
Yeah, I haven't bought a vinyl album in
Even
about
Target sells
35
vinyl.
years. Yeah, now.
Yeah. You know what I saw there the other day, Dan?
Show
The
me a
last time I was
turtle
at Target,
store still in business.
the only, one of the things I saw at Target the last time I was there was Tron Legacy vinyl,
Ooh,
and I was like, I love
that
Tron
was the
Legacy. but
soundtrack though, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, but by Daft Punk. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Tron
saw
Legacy.
the anniversary edition for the Beatles White Album that came with a Beatles t-shirt in it. I believe that was a Target exclusive, but I'm not sure.
Must
my
have been
friend
because the fanciest White album I ever bought was one that had the disc pressed in white vinyl. It had all the original
I used to have that.
reproductions of the original photographs and stuff like. It got
It was
stolen.
literally a
from
white
me.
album.
Yeah, it got stolen from me. I had something like 600 vinyl records at the time, and I wound up.
Was it a
they
low
were about-
number?
I don't know.
You remember which Ryan, the White Album is actually a nickname. It's just called The Beatles, which was a double white album. But on the front, it also had a serial number on the early ones, the original ones. And to get ones, you could probably go on eBay now and find them still.
I didn't know that.
To get them
we
with
gotta-
the low numbers.
Bill, we got to run the end credits.
Yep, we got to wrap it up.
Sorry to interrupt, but
That's
Well,
all
y'all-
right.
This was fun while it lasted.
And y'all can continue on Last Man Standing.
yep.
So with this, we're going to challenge the bots and see if this is what they're mad at us at. And it's time to say good night, everybody.
Good night,
Nice
everybody.
seeing you. Have a good one.
Good night, Gracie.
Live long and prosper.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face